It's World Diabetes Day, being observed under the theme, Protect Your Family. The day is being used to raise awareness of the impact that diabetes has on the family and to promote the role of the family in the management, care, prevention, and education of the condition. Stay tuned for a few more tips coming up in the show, plus security plans for the Christmas season. Hello, I'm Sandra Clark. Thanks for making it Jamaica Magazine.
If you no want pop down and fenke, you fi burn mosquito and run with dengue. So no make water settle in open container. For them me read up under the danger. Usher them out, run them away. Slap them with the zapper and down them with spray. Use mosquito net and mosquito screen. Protect your household, now make them come in. If you no want pop down and fenke, if you burn mosquito and run with dengue. If pain lick your head and your joints and your eye, and you want fever meat and your temperature high, it could be dengue, don't hesitate. See a doctor, don't self-medicate. For some painkiller can make you bleed and you will try to recover and no succeed. We no want pop down and fenke. With the burn mosquito and run with dengue.
A message from the Ministry of Health.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, November 14. Stronger penalties are coming for persons who steal equipment and infrastructure being used by telecom service providers. Technology Minister Favour Williams made the announcement during a statement to Parliament on Tuesday. The decision is in response to rising incidences of theft, which have prevented telecoms providers from maintaining resilience in their networks, contributing to disturbances in their delivery of services to customers. Minister Williams says government will be enhancing the existing policy and regulatory framework to protect investments in the sector and ensure more reliable connectivity for customers.
As a government, we must move more swiftly, and I commit to working with my colleague ministers to strengthen legislation such as the Larceny Act, the Malicious Injuries to Property Act, and yes, the Scrap Metals Regulation. Theft and vandalism exact a heavy toll on every one of us and jeopardize this country's future.
The National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, is executing an enforcement drive to ensure businesses adhere to the plastic packaging materials prohibition orders. It is an offense to import, manufacture, distribute, or use certain single-use plastic bags and plastic drinking straws. The importation of expanded polystyrene foam products used in the food and beverage industry is also prohibited. If convicted, offenders may be fined up to $2 million or face a term of 2 years imprisonment. Already 2 businesses have been served for breaching the prohibition orders and will appear before the Manchester Parish Court in the coming weeks. That resulted from NEPA's enforcement drive in south-central Jamaica, which is being extended to the western end of the island. Acting manager of NEPA's enforcement branch, Philip Cross, says the agency has been issuing warning notices to entities in breach with the hope they will desist from flouting the order. But he says that has not been successful, forcing the agency to resort to criminal prosecution as a deterrent. In a statement, he insists that NEPA is keen on getting compliance in this area as the consequences of failure is too grave for the country and its environment. Breaches of the plastic packaging materials prohibition can be reported to NEPA by calling 876-285-8531, 876-754-7540, or toll free at 888-991-9005. Persons can also email policy on plastic ban at nepa.gov.jm. The Ministries of Health and Local Government are collaborating to find alternative accommodations for persons who have been abandoned at hospitals across the country and now reside there. Residencies will be constructed on the grounds of infirmaries as one of the solutions to house hospital patients who have not been collected by relatives. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says this will help to free up needed bed spaces at hospitals.
There are more than 350 beds in our public hospitals across the country where persons are living in our hospitals permanently. There are cases where there are people in the hospital for more than 20, 30 years, abandoned by their relatives.
Mr. McKenzie was speaking on Monday at the groundbreaking ceremony of the Adult Transitional Facility in downtown Kingston, which will house street people. 62 tertiary students from Central Clarendon have received $2.7 million in tuition support from Minister without Portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister and Member of Parliament for the area, Mike Henry. The presentation was made at a reception held on Sunday at the West Park Community Centre in Clarendon. Minister Henry commended the students on their educational achievements and encouraged them to continue doing well. He also pledged his commitment to the development of the area.
We have started to construct a new infant school where the infant school was at an expenditure of $150 million. And the school is operating at the moment from the Denby Showground for us to complete in 1 year.
Students at the Constant Spring Primary and Junior High School in Kingston are now benefiting from a new playing field. The 2,000 square meter playfield with a 50-meter 4-lane concrete running track is enclosed by a modern chain link fence. It can accommodate all 630 students at the school for events, training for competitive sport, and recreational play. The project was funded by Carib Cement Company at a cost of approximately $3 million.
We hope that you will be able to do well in school and that those who want to participate in athletics will be able to perform even better because you know that now you have a safe place to train.
Minister with Oversight for Education, Carl Samuda, commended Carib Cement for the intervention and revealed plans for further development of the school's aesthetics.
We will monitor it and support you in every way, and one of our missions must be to give you a nicely paved driveway. Yes. Right? To paint the buildings inside and out, and to repair all those broken windows.
And finally, Culture Minister Olivia Grange has been elected a Vice President of the 40th session of the UNESCO General Conference, which is underway in Paris, France. Minister Grange was elected Vice President in her absence, but she departed the island yesterday to participate in the General Conference and to meet the UNESCO Executive Board. The minister's election follows her just concluded successful 2-year term as chair of the UNESCO Committee on Conventions and Recommendations. She was also re-elected as vice chair of the Culture Committee of the Organization of American States. The 58-member executive board is responsible for the overall management of UNESCO. Jamaica is serving the board on a 4-year term, which will end in 2021. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
The JCS Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch was established to do exactly as its name suggests. We spoke recently with Superintendent of Police Gary McKenzie for an update on some of the branch's operations since its members hit the streets.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm your host, Enthros Campbell. To tell us about the measures being used to curb the indiscipline on our roads and in the public spaces in general is Gary Mackenzie, who is Superintendent of Police in the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch. SP Mackenzie, thank you so much for joining us and Get the Facts.
Thank you for having me today.
So that's a big title that your department has, your branch. Tell us, what do you mean by public order and safety? What are we talking about here?
Well, what we are talking about as we speak about safety is it is all encompassing, because it says that we are responsible to ensure that citizens are able to go about their business safely. That is, we have to ensure that they come to no harm. And the branch itself looks at dealing with this on the roadways, within business districts, within other public areas such as transportation hubs and so on. As it relates to order, this has to be done within an organized way. And so in terms of managing traffic flow, in terms of ensuring that their citizens come to no harm whilst they do their business, that is what we are about.
Excellent. So tell me about some of the measures that you use to achieve order and safety.
Well, certainly enforcement plays a big role, but even before we do that, ensuring that we are out there being visible, putting on this management posture and ensuring that persons recognize what we are about is very important. Mm-hmm. And this, of course, increase the confidence that the public will have as it relates to how we police. Once things are not in order, then we have to take control, we have to educate, we have to enforce the laws where necessary to ensure that this is maintained.
How do you educate?
Well, certainly we do that through media. We do that through collaboration with other entities. We have our road safety unit that goes within schools. We also go within communities. Of course, we collaborate with other geographic entities or widely publicized meetings, stakeholder meetings, and so on. So we educate persons through those media.
What are some of the violations that pedestrians, people general in open spaces and on the road, what are some of the violations that people can be ticketed for?
Well, as it relates to pedestrians, we really can't take any, law enforcement action in terms of issuance of tickets. But what we find is that we have quite a few accidents involving pedestrians because of lack of proper usage on our roads, meaning that they sometimes cross at corners in front and behind large vehicles. And so education is key in terms of ensuring that our pedestrians understand how to use the road safely. There are other breaches committed by drivers of motor vehicles in that they fail to observe and stop at pedestrian crossings. Some are very discourteous, and so where they commit breaches, we prosecute. For example, if they fail to observe and stop at a pedestrian crossing, that is an offense, and we deal with that. But our vigilance and enforcement helps to ensure that persons are able to safely use our thoroughfare.
Okay, unruly drivers, illegal taxi drivers, illegal stopping. What methods are you using to address these issues?
Well, there are a multiplicity of methods that we use. One is that our presence out there deters some of them. We also enforce. We have to, of course, send the message across through education. But I want to say that in recent times, we have been getting some very good help from the public in terms of taking photos of some of these persons, because you know that as much as we like, we can't be on every street. But certainly it gives us the ability to be proactive as well. Yeah. So the areas that we know that those offenses, there is a greater probability of them occurring there, then it assists us in informing us as to where we ought to place persons and so on. Yes. We try to be fluid, and we try to ensure that we listen to citizens. So we are always grateful of the feedback, of the suggestions, and we listen to those and we act as well.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Mackenzie. This has been Get the Facts with our guest, Gary Mackenzie, Superintendent of Police of the Public Safety and the Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB. Until next time, I'm Anthros Campbell. Take care.
When criminals disagree, they seek revenge. Murder, arson, rape, whatever causes terrible suffering. It doesn't matter who gets hurt. Women, children, and the elderly, they are the main targets. Don't support the criminals. Don't cover up for them. Don't take their money. Take a stand now for the right of our women and children to be free from fear and abuse. Silence brings violence.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
We continue our discussion on public order and safety for all, this time focusing on what to expect during the upcoming Christmas season.
These additional measures are part of our overall crime management strategy and will see a significant ramping up of police presence, particularly in the commercial districts and public spaces. This will be accompanied by other strategic, targeted, and intelligence-driven security operations to bolster public safety, maintain public order, deter acquisitive and violent crimes, and further disrupt the gangs that are the source of much of the crimes. These intensified safety and security measures are being put in place so that law-abiding Jamaicans can feel safe going about their daily lives and making their preparations for the end of this year activities. At this time of the year, people tend to want to celebrate irrespective of their challenges and should be able to do so without apprehension wherever they are. I have requested that the Commissioner of Police, supported by the Chief of Defence Staff and the instruction of the Prime Minister, put in place the requisite systems to reassure the people of Jamaica that everything is being done to intensify the work of the security forces in order to ensure public safety and good order.
We're going from this point forward to the end of the year, not only to secure our city and our town centers, our commercial areas, for between now and the end of the year, but also as we go into next year, we want to set the conditions that we can have a successful year next year in terms of the safety of our public. I met with my divisional commanders on Monday and gave them a mandate around their town centers, but also a mandate around gangs, guns, and criminal leaders, i.e. dons. And they are to focus on that over the next 2 months.
One of the most significant features of this joint task force is the incorporation of over 400 new Jamaica National Service Corps graduates. These new soldiers have been extensively trained and are highly committed to playing their part and making their presence felt as a part of Jamaica's overall security infrastructure. We will also be committing the full gamut of our intelligence capabilities and some specialized equipment and resources to support and sustain continuous operations over the period. This will result in more snap raids, more patrols, more checkpoints, and overall more soldiers and police in the affected communities. We expect that our increased operations will assist the police in targeting and arresting and/or detaining gang members and other persons of interest while denying them the freedom of movement to carry out illegal activities. We will be especially vigilant in preserving secure public spaces, especially in and around commercial areas where persons are vulnerable to various types of crimes.
As we move into another end-of-year festive season, the government remains committed to providing a safe and secure environment for Jamaicans to conduct their commercial, religious, social, and economic activities. the people of Jamaica must be made to feel a heightened sense of safety going to the end of the year and beyond.
JamaicaEye can help you protect our citizens.
JamaicaEye will play a part in increasing your public safety.
JamaicaEye is part of an island-wide network of camera surveillance systems designed to increase the safety of you, our citizens. If you have a camera system outside your home or office facing a public space, log on to JamaicaEye.gov.jm today. JamaicaEye, we're all connected. The Ministry of National Security, creating a safer and prosperous Jamaica.
With today being World Diabetes Day, let me tell you briefly about the two types and ways to manage the condition. Type 1 diabetes is where the pancreas produces little or no insulin, which is an important hormone that allows sugar or glucose to enter cells to produce energy. With type 2 diabetes, persons are able to produce some level of insulin, but their bodies are unable to use it to completely control blood sugar levels. To manage this disease, persons with both type 1 and 2 diabetes must monitor their blood glucose, maintain a daily intake of insulin, and engage in a healthy diet and lifestyle. Both types also require oral medication as prescribed by a physician. Reducing your family's risk starts at home. When a family eats healthy meals and exercises together, all members benefit. So encourage behaviors that could help prevent diabetes in the family. If you have diabetes in your family, learn about the risks, the warning signs to look out for, and what you can do to prevent its complications. For further information, call the Diabetes Association of Jamaica at 876-927-6774 or visit them at 1 Donor Avenue, Kingston 5.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
Replenishing the earth, preserving the environment. As a diligent steward of the environment, the Urban Development Corporation, UDC, continues to spearhead as well as participate in initiatives geared at ensuring the preservation and sustainability of the natural environment and its ecosystems. The corporation, in partnership with agencies such as PAJ, FCJ, JNHT, UE Marine Laboratory, and NEPA, advanced its sustainability agenda through its contribution to National Tree Planting and International Coastal Cleanup Day, ICCD 2019, in its development areas.
The UDC's main objective is to make development happen, but in a sustainable way.
UDC, aided by the citizens of Port Royal and volunteers from private and public sector agencies, was in Port Royal on October 4 for the replanting of 200 red and black mangroves along the Port Royal Main Road.
Port Royal has suffered over the years from a loss of mangroves, and so it is important to replenish them because mangroves are very important to stabilizing the coastline.
This tree planting initiative and other programs of this nature are aimed at protecting our natural environment. We recognize as a development organization that conservation and protecting the environment is a critical part of development.
The mangrove rehabilitation exercise is a partnership with the University of the West Indies Marine Lab.
We have a mangrove nursery, and we have also brought the technology of how to plant the mangroves, where to put which species, And we're also trying a new thing of sargassum mulch to help the plants that we have in the drier parts of the forest.
The National Tree Planting Day was symbolic for the country.
UDC is using this opportunity to support the launch of the government's initiative to plant 3 million trees over the course of 3 years.
Partners that supported the UDC's tree planting activity included the Port Authority of Jamaica, Forest and Conservation Fund, Jamaica National Heritage Trust, Environmental Foundation of Jamaica, Social Development Commission, and the residents of Port Royal. The volunteers expressed the importance of the initiative.
The importance of the mangrove really is it helps, as they said, to shelter the town itself, Port Royal. We all know that when rain falls, a lot of rain, people expect Port Royal to flood. But the mangrove absorb most of the rain, so it prevents this.
Residents were also rewarded for their participation. The theme for National Tree Planting Day was Plant Your Own a Tree, some for the rest of it. Give back to your community. In September, the UDC joined the rest of the world in commemorating International Coastal Cleanup Day. The corporation collaborated with the National Environment and Planning Agency NEPA to host a beach cleanup at Barmouth Beach in Hellshire. The efforts form part of the UDC's corporate social responsibility thrust to preserve the environment.
This area was in dire need of some cleanup efforts because while this is not a public bathing beach, we recognize that anything that affects this beach or any of the ones along here will affect the community and their access to clean beaches here.
We want for persons to realize that your garbage is your responsibility. That's the message that UDC and NEPA want to push here today.
Each year, tons of solid waste, including plastic bottles, are removed from the beach. This year, the UDC's cleanup efforts were expanded to include the removal of sargassum that has been plaguing our beaches. Sponsors that supported the activity included Grace Kennedy, Food for the Poor, Hinduja Global Solutions, JetBlue, Massey Distribution, Jamaica Music Society Jams, Guardsman Hospitality, Knutsford Express, and Wisynco. The Urban Development Corporation, making development happen sustainably. To learn more about the work of the Urban Development Corporation, call 876-656-8031 or visit their website udcja.com. You may also follow them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, or visit their information center on the ground floor Kingston Mall, downtown Kingston.
As we close today's show, we ask that you stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Sandra Clark. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.